So how low can the market go, Leo? How low can things go in the market as far as Bitcoin, crypto? That's what I want to talk about, guys, because there is a general misconception in the markets right now that are absolutely astonishing. Just like, people could not fucking wrap their mind around that the market could collapse the fuck out in 2025 when the market was just barely dropping. Certainly when the market was at the top, and I recorded a ton of podcasts telling people the shit is about to collapse. Nobody wanted to listen. When the market was down a little bit, people wanted to buy the dip. When it was down more, they wanted to buy the dip. When it was down even more, they wanted to buy the dip. And that's how majority of the traders arrived at this moment in the market where they thought, well, shit just can't drop lower, surely. And they bought the fucking dip 2 days ago, and then fast forward 48 hours later, the market is down another 10%, which, by the way, historically, if you look at that, the market has only done that since 1960. The market has only done that 7 times. There's only 7 instances in the stock market history where the market drops consecutively in 2 days, day-to-day basis, in 48-hour time frame, where the market drops by 9% plus. There's only 7 historic precedences. Okay. Now, in majority, actually not in majority, in all of those 7 instances, shortly after, Federal Reserve comes to the market rescue. And the biggest point I made yesterday is, well, Federal Reserve, the way Powell sounded yesterday during his speech leads me to believe that he's in no rush to be doing anything with the rates. In other words, what everyone is expecting is a Fed cut, and yet there's going to be no fucking cut. And the only way I would say any of this can change in the next 10 days if the market will actually go lower than what my prediction was. And my prediction was 20% lower after we're already down 8-9%. So the market would have to be down by more than 30%, I would say, for the Federal Reserve to come in and say, okay, we're going to cut rates. But what I want to really talk about in this podcast is how brainwashed people are on crypto. Now, please understand where I'm coming from. I'm a huge supporter of crypto, but what has transpired in the last 6 months in the crypto space was mostly believed by the majority of the crypto holders and participants and crypto enthusiasts as bullish. I actually argued the opposite. I said it is total bullshit that you got big banks are getting in on Bitcoin, and you got big corporate companies that are getting in on Bitcoin. I said that is not fucking bullish at all. As a matter of fact, that is the very thing that poisons the beauty of crypto. And if your ultimate goal is to own more crypto, is to own more Bitcoin, the only thing you could be doing now is shorting the fuck out of crypto, making millions of dollars on the drop, okay? That seems impossible right now. Let me walk you through this, okay? So the main idea that is circulating now is this. Well, the market dropped 10% in 2 days. Oh yeah, let's just not go any further. Let's just use that. And crypto didn't drop. Like Ethereum didn't move barely. Bitcoin, okay, well, it went to 88, sold off to 81, back to 84. It's like basically on 2 of the wildest dropping days in the market, Bitcoin has held up well. And people are thinking, well, that's got to be the safe haven. Motherfuckers are so wrong. People cannot be more wrong on crypto being the safe haven right now. If you're buying crypto right now, you will absolutely get smoked. Okay? Now, a lot of my predictions, okay, have become increasingly accurate. And for those people that were denying and thinking that I lost my mind, well, it is clear who has lost their fucking mind now. It's the entire goddamn Wall Street that got greedy again, and now they're facing a shitload of margin calls, which are going to be wiping a lot of the Wall Street institutions completely out. And possibly that's going to be happening in the next 72 hours to 3-4 months out, 5 months. The market's going to hit my level, which I told you many times is going to be 2,800. Now, yet the main argument in this space right now is crypto is not dropping because crypto normally bottoms before the market bottoms. And that is such a bullshit argument. Now, considering the context. Now, hear me out, okay? I'm not saying that argument is completely false. If you study the history, it's not. Okay, oftentimes crypto will be, Bitcoin especially would be the leading indicator. It will drop right before the market begins collapsing. There's many historic evidence of instances of such. But what I'm referring to is never ever have we had such a major institutional participation like fucking BlackRock bullshit motherfuckers, and you got other people getting in. Michael Saylor alone with his Ponzi scheme. Now, let's get this shit straight. I'm not calling Bitcoin a Ponzi scheme. I love Bitcoin. I love crypto. But it is the fact that Michael Saylor and the company, let's call him the company, and by the company I'm calling any other company like bullshit GME. Okay, GME is a bullshit stock. It's bullshit. It's nothing but pure bullshit, okay? And now, after they can't grow and they can't make money, they basically say, okay, well, we'll do the same as Saylor. They're a bunch of fucking groupies. What I'm saying, Saylor is the master of the Ponzi. And you got now a bunch of groupies out there that are following the master of the Ponzi. Now, I've never called Saylor a Ponzi before, simply because what is happening now has not happened yet. So what I'm about to state now, guys, is 100% self-evident, but the market is not pricing it, okay? So the most important thing that has transpired in the last 2 weeks when it comes to MSTR and Michael Saylor is the fact that, okay, I'll give the guy the props for being bullish and believing in his case, but the way he's going about it now is total crap. So he's borrowed money from the bondholders at 0% coupon when he ran out of resources being able to borrow from bonds. He went in and he borrowed money by diluting the MSTR shares, which I've recorded a podcast about it. It was total bullshit because basically he fucked the bondholders and then he fucked the common stockholders. And then he went further recently and he issued preferred shares, and the filing states that he could issue up to 21 billion preferred shares, which he already was able to cash out on some of that, and he's already bought Bitcoin with that. And the problem is this. At this point, MSTR is absolutely a Ponzi scheme, because what they're doing is they're taking money from future investors, like the preferred stockholders, okay, that are buying the preferred stock, which now has a payout of around 11-12% dividend. Well, somebody's got to pay the 11-12% dividend out of what? Well, if you understand MSTR, like the MicroStrategy company, okay, the core business is losing money. So by definition, Okay, Saylor cannot be paying out that 11, 12% dividend to MSTR, or actually STRK, which is a symbol for the preferred stock. He cannot be paying it out of the proceeds that MicroStrategy as a core business earns, because it's losing fucking money. So by definition, the only way the dividend of 11, 12% on preferred stock can be paid out from the money received from future investors in the preferred stock, which is by definition is a fucking Ponzi scheme. Now, we have seen some Ponzi schemes in the past, okay, but this is an absolute, I mean, it makes Enron look like total, like Menno. And, you know, this MSTR Ponzi scheme is a big one, guys. And it is shocking that nobody's talking about it. And it is shocking that the stock is actually shooting up. And guys, I'm telling you, this is going to be the biggest disaster. And this is going to be the reason why Bitcoin price will absolutely fucking collapse. Now, I told you that a lot of my predictions became 100% accurate, such as, you know, the grand collapse in oil. It's happening now in front of your eyes. The grand collapse in the market when everybody kept fitting you shit like United States consumer is strong and we only going to go higher this year and all that. I've been talking stagflation for 14 months. I've also been talking about how this MSTR Bitcoin buying strategies are highly unsustainable. I've also recorded one podcast in the past where I have told you that there's going to be a one-day drop in Bitcoin to the magnitude of 20,000 points. Now, I've been correct about the market and the indexes. I've been correct about stocks like Meta, which not so long ago was trading at $740. Well, Meta was just trading in the $400 handle. Guys, I'm telling you, if you missed out on all of this stuff that I've been talking about, okay, and we've been able to perfectly predict here at 30 market moves, I sure hope you're not going to miss out on shorting the biggest Ponzi scheme in the fucking market, which is MSTR. Okay, so let me walk you through this one more time. They sold bonds at 0%, okay, up to the point where they could no longer sell bonds. With 0% coupon, that means that there's no interest due, okay? Then the second option was to dilute the MSTR shares by issuing more common stock shares, okay? More shares issued means that the current stockholders get fucked because now there's more shares outstanding. When that play ran out, he went to selling preferred stock and creating a separate symbol, STRK, to do this new scheme of borrowing, okay, at 11, 12%. Now, let me tell you something. You don't go borrow money at 11, 12%, damn it, if you can borrow money at 0, or if you can dilute the current shares outstanding. So you arrive at a point where you have to offer preferred stock at 11, 12% dividend when you're completely out of other options. So there's no return to zero coupon bond selling. There's no return to diluting the shares of MSTR further. And this is the last stretch, which I have pointed out in the past. The only reason Bitcoin traded above 105,000, 108,000 is because Michael Saylor kept borrowing an insane amount of money to the magnitude of billions and billions of fucking dollars. He had kept buying the fucking high in Bitcoin. That is the only reason the Bitcoin price held up over 100,000 for a few weeks' time. Now the same thing is happening. He was just able to borrow money by at 11, 12% interest to be able to buy more Bitcoin. And that is the only reason Bitcoin has not fucking collapsed yet. But I am here to tell you that Bitcoin will absolutely have a 21,840 point drop in a single trading session that is coming. And that means that we can actually set a record here at Etherium Market Moves. We just had a record colossal fucking trade on shorting oil, and when short-term expiration, considering certain strikes that we bought when oil was trading at 72, those strikes and puts went as much as 289x, not 289%, damn it. Okay, I'm talking about 28,900%. That's what I'm talking about. And I'm saying that this Bitcoin trade that is coming up over the course of 1 to 3 weeks, okay, where right now everybody's turning bullish on it. It's going sideways. It seems like nothing is happening. Well, I put the charts together and I have identified another time frame in Bitcoin history when similar stuff was happening on the chart right before it has a one-day drop of 26%. And I'm telling you guys, current level in Bitcoin is 84,000. The Michael Saylor is going to keep buying it, keep buying it. He's got GME now on board to buy it. That is exactly what's been happening in the last 48 hours while the market was dropping. Michael Saylor and GME and some other bullshit companies like Mara, M-A-R-A, basically Michael Saylor and the company, all the other companies that are trying to follow his strategies. And notably, I mean, I'm not even sure how could you blame these companies, because it is the system that is at the fucking fault. How can you have a company that is losing fucking money? MSTR, MicroStrategy, strategy. That fucking strategy is a losing goddamn strategy. That is not a strategy B. Okay, that is strategy. I guess you can call it strategy B, strategy bullshit, because after all said and done, MSTR is going to be fucking bankrupt and billions of dollars are going to be fucking wiped out because of the stupidity of their fucking strategy. And that is not positive for crypto. That is not positive for Bitcoin. That is not positive for Ethereum. That is not positive for the crypto space, period. You have companies that are publicly traded that are losing money. Get this, they're fucking losing money every quarter. MSTR has been losing money for 20 fucking years. Yet, because of the public markets, they're able to go out there and borrow gazillion fucking billions of dollars, right? And then sink it into Bitcoin. I mean, Michael Saylor literally nailed every top in fucking Bitcoin he bought. So you cannot have such a poor buying strategy and have a good outcome, is what I'm trying to tell you. If he was just a little wiser using the money he's borrowing, buying the fucking lows, you could be looking at a different outcome. But his strategy of buying, like, look, his strategy of buying is no different than gazillion of fucking stock investors that thought the market would just go to the fucking moon in 2025, and they kept buying the highs, and they kept buying the highs, and they kept buying the highs, and they kept fucking ignoring everything we have told you here at Etherium Market Moves, which is the market is about to fucking collapse. And all of them Wall Street idiots are fucking wrong, because they're not looking at history, they're not looking at the fucking charts, and they keep buying the motherfucking top that is only going to last for so fucking long, damn it. And so now the general market is suffering some consequences for all this blindness and stupidity on behalf of Wall Street. But yet, okay, the grand ramification of MSTR buying strategy, okay, I would dare say the stock is going to go to $20 in the next 12 months, maybe sooner. I mean, there's going to be a day you're going to be looking at MSTR and the stock is probably going to be down 50% on a one single day trading session. So the general consensus that, Bitcoin is a safe haven, well, it might have been if you didn't have idiots like Michael Saylor, okay, creating a Ponzi scheme out of their business, basically borrowing money and using money from future investors to pay the dividends to the ones that already own the preferred shares. So I don't have the liberty to talk to you guys hours about this stuff, but you can go look up the Ponzi. You can look up a bunch of instances in the financial markets history where the entire business model was based on, we got to go borrow some money so we can pay the older investors their interest. Okay? In any business that was ever based on such a model, ultimately is going to fail. So the zero bonds idea coupon was not a bad thing because he didn't have to pay shit. But now that he's borrowing money at 11, 12%, he's going to have to pay. And since MSTR is not making any money, it's been losing money for for the last 20 fucking years, guess where the money is going to come from? It's going to come from the next sale of preferred stock. So he's borrowing money from new incoming investors to pay the old investors. That is a definition of a Ponzi scheme, and that shit is going to absolutely implode and fucking collapse. If you think what you're seeing now in the United States market, this 10% drop in 2 days, you think that shit is bad? Okay, you wait till you see MSTR go down by fucking 90%. Okay, and it's going to happen. I'm telling you with 100% certainty that day is fucking coming. Now, I'm not saying it's going to drop 90% in one day, even though I'm not excluding that possibility. And I'm not saying that's going to happen tomorrow, but I'm saying in the next 12 months, there's going to be a day, there's going to be a moment. It's absolutely going to fucking happen. And I promise you, you're not going to be able to nail this on your own. That is why you should be training with a 13 Market Moves coach. That is why you should be able to at least fucking go on our website, 13MTV, buy all the fucking courses. Now, don't buy them. Fuck it. Try to go ahead and do the stupid shit you've been doing in the markets all by yourself. And, I think it's ridiculous how people don't want to spend a few $1,000s on their knowledge and get fucking better as a trader. They keep going and doing the same stupid mistakes, jumping in, jumping out of trades just because of whether they're looking at green or red candles. It's not a fucking strategy, guys. So there's going to be a moment, guys, possibly in the next 5-6 months, possibly in the next 12 months, where you can catch a trade on short-term options on puts with Bitcoin that is going to pay more than 300x. There's going to be a moment on MSTR that you can absolutely make 400x. It's coming, guys. It all has to do with options pricing. It all has to do with the size of the drop and the magnitude of the expansion of the drop. And based on the current situation, everyone that thinks, okay, Bitcoin all of a sudden became a risk haven, they're so fucking wrong. They're looking at the wrong shit. They're completely disregarding the fact that now all these institutions that have been buying Bitcoin, they are the enemy. Michael Saylor is not the beneficiary. He's not the prophet of Bitcoin. He is an absolute enemy of Bitcoin at this point. Because what do you think is going to happen when investors in MSTR that bought the preferred stock officially fucking come to a conclusion which is obvious to us here at 13 Market Moves now, but yet is somehow just not obvious to the rest of the world yet, that MSTR is an absolute fucking Ponzi scheme now that they're borrowing money from future investors to pay the prior ones, okay? This is going to be a big, big fucking story, guys, and it is absolutely amazing that everybody's quiet about it, but what do you think is going to happen when investors are going to want their money? The courts are going to make MSTR sell the fuck out of their Bitcoin. And that is why Bitcoin can make one of the grandest, biggest drops on like a 1-day time frame, okay, in relation to any drop that Bitcoin has ever made. It is guys like Saylor that are pure poison to the crypto community at this point. And guess when BlackRock is going to need to sell their stake in Bitcoin? And guess when other players are going to need to sell their Bitcoin because they need to cover margin calls on some other investments that are already down 10% in the last 10 days and 20% down since, in the last 45 days. What do you think they're going to sell? They're going to dump Bitcoin. Institutional investment in Bitcoin is a bad thing because it's going to propel some of the biggest fucking drops in the history of Bitcoin. It's not like Bitcoin has not been volatile enough already. What I am saying is the drops that are now possible because of this stupidity in the corporate world, companies being able to go and borrow money when they're fucking losing money, and they're actually able to borrow money. Okay, when they're losing money, they shouldn't even be able to get a motherfucking loan. But not only that, they're going out there borrowing fucking money, okay, to the tune of billions, fucking 21 billion, 30 billion, fucking 50 billion. Are you out of your fucking mind? This is the definition of motherfucking insanity that's going to collapse Bitcoin, and yet people are fucking bullish on it. I'm not excluding that the madness is going to reach, insane proportions. Like the fact that Bitcoin is only down 20-25% off the top is not, like, that is almost the definition of insanity. But the fact that Michael Saylor is still able to raise money to buy it here at these levels is even bigger definition of fucking madness than the world has ever seen. And yeah, nobody in the world is talking about it. Just like nobody in the world was talking about this upcoming crash. So what I'm telling you guys, I've got killer plates on the short side on MSTR and Bitcoin and Ethereum, and you just got to know when to pull the trigger on these. You just got to understand a simple fact that there is a moment in time in which Michael Saylor of Strategy B, which stands for bullshit, okay, Bitcoin is pure. Now, Michael Saylor's strategy about Bitcoin fucking borrowing fucking his, he literally fucking sold his soul to the devil. On borrowing fucking money. He's got no shit to pay for them 11-12%. I mean, this is madness, guys. Okay, it's not going to end well. I'm telling you this before anybody else tells you this, and my message has been pretty consistent on this. You can go back to November podcast I've been recording about this. You can go back to October, November, December, when all this shit was fucking shooting to the moon. I've been telling you this is not going to end well. There's going to be a lot of money made on the short side because people got greedy, they got stupid, they fucking over-borrowed money. That people going to have to fucking make their margin calls. People going to have to fucking come to a Jesus moment, and nobody's ready for it. Nobody is in Bitcoin world is ready for what's about to come. They still think the shit is going to hit 200,000 this year. I mean, just like I made a podcast, 2 weeks ago when the market was already down like 9%. You got a Wells Fargo analyst that says, oh no, by the end of the year, we're going to be at 7,000. Are you fucking retarded? Seriously. And yet, at the moment of the interview, he'd be like, no, but we're not buying stocks. Hold on. You're a fucking walking contradiction. If you think the market is going to hit 7,000 by the end of the year, why wouldn't you buy the market at, 5,700? Well, yeah, but what if we drop just a little money? If we drop more, bro, there's zero probability of the market's hitting 7,000 by the year end. And yet you got other analysts that, until this week, right? They were all like, no, for sure, by the end of the year, we're going to go to 6,500. Are you fucking retarded? Seriously. Like, these people actually do markets for a fucking living, and they're all fucking wrong. They all got greedy, stupid, fucking, market madness got a hold of them. I'm telling you, this is going to be a market collapse that is not going to stop. By the way, I'm going to say something shocking. I will actually probably be buying calls at some point in the upcoming week. because I think once we hit a certain level, we're almost guaranteed to get a bounce. And if you study the history of the best bear markets, they come with these crazy fucking bounces, and I think we're about to get one. And most of the time, by the time we hear a 30 market moves are buying calls, that is when majority of the traders, they're buying puts. So don't be that guy that's buying puts when we're buying calls. You should be reaching out to us. You should be reaching to your coach. You should have a full-blown plan ready for next week. Because if you do the wrong shit next week, like buying puts at a moment when we're buying calls, you will smoke your fucking account. I'm telling you that now. So you've got to really understand the bear market mechanics. And I promise you guys, there's nobody fucking better at bear market mechanics than us here at 30 Market Moves. So stop fucking around trying to figure out the market on your own. If you go back to the last 14 months and listen to all the podcasts and what was said on them, everything was there to prepare you for this crash. You should be sitting on piles, millions of fucking dollars of money right now. And if you haven't done it, it's your own fucking fault. So, I will also tell you that it's also in your hands to change your fucking ignorance about the markets and all the bad decisions you've made about the markets. You can change all of that now, today. You can trade with a 30 Market Moves coach and fucking get on the right side of the market for once. The question is, will you stick with the trades? Or will you be a little bitch when we're going to tell you, hey, man, I know it looks so bad. The market's fucking collapsing. It's time to buy calls. Be like, oh, my God, it looks so bad. I can't buy calls. Yeah, you're the same guy who fucking we told you to short the market at the top. And you're like, oh, my God, I cannot buy puts. The market looks so bullish. Stop being that fucking guy. If you want to make money as a trader, change your strategy now. Change it to a 13 market move strategy, damn it. Go study all the fucking courses that I made there for you guys so you can be a better fucking trader, damn it. The only question, are you ready for it? Anyways, guys, I gotta roll. Big fucking trades are coming up. Don't miss them.